Hello, I am so glad you could join me today. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today I am going to be making a special treat for your casserole. Okay, now Good Friday is around the corner. Good Friday is next Friday coming up, and I wanted to make a special dish for you, something that you can make yourself. I know growing up in the islands, a lot of people back then did not use meat, pork, chicken, beef. Those things was not cooked on Good Friday. The only thing that you can find in people's house on Good Friday was fish. It doesn't matter what kind of fish it is, flying fish, salt fish, whatever it was. You always found people cook fish on Good Friday. So I have a little casserole dish for you that I would like you to make, and I wanted to make it today to show you how to make it. So for our dish, we're going to use fish, but our fish that we're going to be using is codfish. This is salted codfish. I already boiled this a couple of times. I boiled the salt off of it, and so this is all good and ready to be cooked. So this is my saltfish. Over here, I'm making a casserole with some breadfruit, guys. I found some breadfruit. I was so excited. I found a big one. This one is pretty big, but the other ones were tiny. See, they're tiny, so I bought like 3 because I wasn't sure if that would be enough. I have here a pepper, some tomatoes, onions, and some garlic. Now this is going to be making a little stew here with my codfish, and I'm going to make my breadfruit. Because guys, we have magic, and this is the magic of television, I'm going to say voila! Magic of television! It's all peeled and ready to go in the pot. Okay guys, I have some water boiling. I'm going to put this breadfruit in the water to boil with a little bit of salt. And then once that's boiling, I'm going to start on my saltfish and show you how to make our breadfruit casserole. Okay. So now our breadfruit is on boiling. So now I'm going to start on our saltfish. We're going to make our saltfish. So the first thing that I need to do is chop all this stuff I have here, which is my onion, my pepper, my garlic, and my tomato. But seeing the magic of television, we have to perform some more magic. So let's perform some more magic. So voila! Guys, that's the magic of video. I said television, but the magic of video. Everything get magically chopped. Okay, so now we're gonna make our delicious salt fish, like a gravy like we're gonna make. Okay, let's go over to the saucepan so I can show you how to make your saltfish gravy. Okay guys, so in my pan here I have some oil in there. I'm gonna add to my oil the garlic. I like to add my garlic first because I like the nice flavors. So just always remember guys, stay close to your garlic. Don't let it burn because it burns very quickly. Okay, so that's my garlic. To my garlic, I'm going to add my onions. Mix that in a little bit. Get some of the flavors out of that. Mix it in well. Leave it there for a few minutes. And then to that, I'm going to add my saltfish. This is salted codfish, guys, that I have soaked. I have boiled to get all the salt out of it. In order to get the salt out of it, you have to either soak it for a while or you have to boil it. And if you boil it, you have to boil it like 3 or 4 times to get all the salt out of it, okay? So I'm just leave this for a few minutes and then I'll add some things to it. Okay guys, so now to that I'm going to add a little butter. I'll mix your butter in. I'm going to go ahead and add my peppers and my tomatoes. And I'm going to mix this in well. Looks good. We all like some salt fish. So now I'm going to season that up a little bit, okay? So remember, your salt fish, since it's salted, sometimes you may end up, sometimes when you soak it, all the salt may not come out, or when you boil it, so be careful, okay, before you, to taste it first to make sure it's not salty. So this is garlic powder, even though I put garlic in there already. I'm going to put a little bit of black pepper. There we go, some black pepper. And I still like to add some onion powder. I don't know how people could say they don't like onions. They don't cook with onion. How could you not cook with onion? Onion makes everything taste good. It does. You can always tell people are cooking. You can smell the onion. Sometimes there's not much they're cooking, but you can smell the onion. Makes the food smell good from distance away. Okay, so now I'm going to add to that a little bit of all-purpose seasoning. And as I said, be careful adding seasoning since this is salted, so you don't end up, you know, adding more salt to it and then it becomes too much. This is a little paprika. I'm just sprinkling. So guys, you can just sprinkle. I'm not measuring, I'm just sprinkle. And over here I have my good old turmeric. This is my friend. I like to add my turmeric in everything that I'm doing. I like to add a little turmeric. And over here, this is good old curry powder. I like the taste of curry powder, so I tend to add curry powder and stuff. And I think that's it for my seasonings, guys. I'm going to let this cook down for a few minutes. Let the tomatoes in here cook and the peppers in here cook. I'm going to keep stirring it every few minutes like this. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water and let it boil down, okay? So I don't want to add too much water in it. We're not making a gravy, guys, because we're making a casserole. So we're not going to add, I'm just going to add a little bit of water and that's it, all right? So I'll be back in a few minutes as soon as it cooked down a little bit. Okay guys, so here it is. Looks good. Now guys, I'm going to finish seasoning it up a little bit. I didn't add that to it. This is a little ketchup. And I like a little spice to it. So I'm going to add a little bit of hot sauce. And we're going to add just a teensy-weensy little bit of water. Not much, because I'm not making a gravy, as I said. I am just making, we're not making gravy, so we're not going to add a lot of water to it. We're going to mix that up well. I'm going to taste it to see if I need to add any salt to it, because sometimes you can kind of boil out too much of the salt and then you need to add salt. So let me taste it. I'll taste it and I'll tell you if I need to add a little salt. Yes, I need to add a little bit of salt, guys, just a little bit. See how much I have in my hand? That's just a pinch. That's it. Okay, so I think this is good. So this is all done, guys. this is all done. Our breadfruit should be done. So let me go ahead and set everything together and show you exactly how I put this together. Guys, this is the breadfruit. The breadfruit is cooked. Guys, so this is our breadfruit. It's nice, it's soft. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mash it. And I saved back. Oh, it's hot. Ooh, I'm making a mess. I saved back some of the water that it was boiled in, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of water to that and mash it with that water. I'm not adding butter and all that stuff to it. I'm just mashing it just like that with the same liquid that it was boiled in. I boiled in a little bit of salt water and that was it. So we're just gonna mash this. I'm gonna put a little more water to it because I want it to be nice and moist. A little more water to it. I think that's about it. This will be breadfruit cuckoo. We call this back home breadfruit cuckoo. And another way that they used to make breadfruit cuckoo, they'll do this with the breadfruit, and then they had salt pork. And they'll take the salt pork and they'll cut it up, and get your salt and so on out of it, and they'll cut it up and they'll mix it in here and mash it, so you have small pieces of pork inside of your breadfruit cuckoo, and then you have your gravy. So guys, this is one of the things that we used to eat a lot of in the islands years ago. Okay, breadfruit cuckoo. I love breadfruit cuckoo with a nice gravy. I love it. Okay, so this is nice and mashed. So this is what I'm gonna do. I have a dish right here. So I also have a little bit of cooking spray. This is not the one I usually use. I have a little bit of cooking spray here. So I'm just gonna, this one for Baker's Joy. I normally don't use this, but I have some, so I'm using that. And that is just gonna stop stop it from sticking. So we're gonna go ahead and put a layer of breadfruit to the bottom of our dish. A layer of breadfruit. Breadfruit cuckoo. I love breadfruit cuckoo, guys. Okay, so we have a layer here. Now we're gonna take our saltfish here that we made, okay guys, and we're gonna put a layer of that on top of our breadfruit. I like lots of saltfish, so I'm gonna put lots of it. And just put this a layer on top of it like that. Bring this one back, and then we just finish it off. So this is another thing, as I said, we made in the islands. And this is what you can do for Good Friday, guys. You make this for Good Friday. Your family is gonna love it. As long as they like breadfruit and they like saltfish, this is gonna be a hit. And that's it. I'm gonna put a little bit of butter on the top. And just a little bit of breadcrumbs on the top, and stick it in the oven. And I have something else to show you that you can do with your leftover breadfruits. Alright guys, so here I have a little butter. I melted the butter a little bit so that it would be a little bit melted. And I'm just going to pour a little bit of melted butter on the top. Help it to brown nicely. Just a little bit of butter. Yep. And in here I have a little bit of breadcrumbs. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of breadcrumbs on the top, just to give it a nice little crust out. And that's it. This is our casserole. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven, and then I have a quick something to do. When you have the leftover breadfruit, you don't know what to do with it, it has some more saltfish. Let me show you something really quickly that you can do with that as well. Okay, so you can have this, plus you can have a little something on the side. I'll show you. So guys, now if you have some leftover breadfruit, you did a whole big breadfruit and you're not gonna use all of it, you have some that's left over, don't throw it away. I have something good I'm gonna show you that you can do with your leftover breadfruit and a little leftover saltfish. So let's see. I'm excited. Okay, so I have in here some flour. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this flour and I'm just gonna put it right there on my counter. I'm gonna take me some of this breadfruit right here. My hands are nice and clean. They've been in water forever. And I just take my breadfruit and I'm just gonna flatten it out. Flatten it out. And I flatten it out, guys. Then I'm gonna take some of my saltfish and I am just going to put it on top of that, just like that, just like that. And then I am going to close that in here like this. I'm just gonna take a little bit more of this breadfruit right here and I'm gonna put it on top of that, and I'm gonna make a ball. You can make it as big as you want to or as little as you want to. I'm making myself a nice ball. See that, guys? Okay, so I have a nice round thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna roll it a little bit here, guys, and a little bit of flour that I have here on the counter. Just roll it in a little bit of flour, and I'm gonna set that aside for a minute. Then I'm gonna do the same thing again. Take a nice chunk right here, how much ever you have. I'm just gonna press it out, and I'm gonna take some of my saltfish here and I'm gonna press it there in the center. Press it in the center. Yep. I'm gonna take some more. I'm making these pretty big, guys. I fold it in, fold it in, and then I take some, just not a little bit too big, flatten it out, put it up top there. This look more like it. It's a little sticky on your hands, but that's okay. You wash your hands when you're done. You just roll it around, put it in your flour, put some more flour down, roll it around in the flour. And I'm going to take this one here I started to use just now. It's a little sticky, guys, because that's how the breadfruit is, a little bit sticky, but it's okay because that's how it is. And then I'm just going to put a little more saltfish on the top of that, and then fold it in a little bit before you put the other part on top of it. You just fold it in. You don't want everything dropping out. You fold it in. Then you take the rest of your breadfruit that you have and you put it on the top. You put it on the top. Let me use this one. Put it on the top. It's a little bit messy, guys, but that's okay. It tastes good. You can fill in any holes that you have. Just fill it in. Once you put the flour on it, it's not as sticky. So then you put it down and just kind of put the flour on it. The flour kind of binds it a little bit and stop it from being so sticky. See that, guys? See, that's much better once you put the flour on it. These are thick and big. You can make them smaller if you want to. I just make these kind of heavy. Okay, so I made 3, so I will clean up this area and I'll show you what I'm gonna do next. What I have here is some oil that is heated. It's hot. I put my hand over here, you can feel the heat. So what I'm gonna do is take my breadfruit and drop it in there. Okay guys, so I think they're ready to be taken out. So I have a plate over here that I have some paper in to dry the oil. Let me see. Take this one out too. Give this one another minute. Okay guys, food is all done. So over here I have, you can call it breadfruit and saltfish pie or breadfruit and saltfish casserole. I think I'll call it breadfruit and saltfish pie. I kind of like that. And we have here some fritters, some pretty big ones. This is, as you saw me, breadfruit and saltfish in the center, fried up. Looks yummy. Just something a little bit different from the everyday thing that you usually have. I just want you to have something a little bit different. And so let's go ahead and try it and see what it tastes like. Okay, so I'm going to take this fork here and I'm just going to take a little bit out of here. So I'm going to use this tray to take it up with this. Yes, yesy, yesy, yesy. Looks, oh, I can smell it. It smells so good. First, let me taste this one before I go to that one. So let's go ahead and give it a taste for you. Look at it, guys. I wish you could smell it because the saltfish and everything in it smells so good. So this is your breadfruit and saltfish pie. You see the steam is coming out of that, right? So you see how hot that is, right? Blow. So people used to blow on the food to cool it. Oop. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a try. Listen, if you're a person that grew up in the island and has had breadfruit and saltfish before, you could imagine how good it tastes. But if you've never had it before, you don't know the taste of it. Breadfruit is an acquired taste for a lot of people, but for some people it's just, oh, it tastes delicious. This meal is really good. If you have a family, this is a perfect thing that you can make for Good Friday. Okay? Perfect dish. Now let's go ahead and try the other one so I can tell you what it tastes like. Now let me get another fork. Let me cut it down the center here. Ooh, look at it, guys. It looks yummy. So let me go ahead now and taste this piece as well. Just take off a small piece. Oh, it dropped, guys, off the front. I put it right back on there because we're not, you know. Okay, let me taste it. It's good. It's really good. The only difference between the two is that it has that crust at the back, at the bottom, from frying it, right? It has that crust, but it is delicious, guys. My husband, they're gonna enjoy this. My daughters went to Texas, and they're saying, "Mommy, how are you gonna make that when I'm not there? How could you do that? You gotta save me some." I said, "You know what? You gotta enjoy it while it's hot, not when it's cold. So I'll make you some another time." So this, we're gonna have this. This is our dinner, guys. I am so glad that you guys were able to join me today. I hope you guys can make this for Good Friday. This is a great dish to make for Good Friday. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. I love to read your comments. And don't forget to hit that little icon, that little bell icon. That way every time I put a video up, you will be notified. Until next time, bye bye.